Hello and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you all the latest news and updates from the country and the world in just 30 minutes. Let's begin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim met at Hyderabad House in India's capital New Delhi to discuss enhancing India-Malaysia ties. Both the leaders also held bilateral meeting to discuss further engagement across various domains of partnership and explored new areas of collaboration. Following bilateral talks, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Malaysian counterpart Anwar bin Ibrahim witnessed the exchange of several MOUs before proceeding to a joint press conference. 7 MOUs were signed between the Government of India and Malaysia, from recruitment, employment and repatriation of the workers to Ayurveda and other traditional medicines. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed Malaysia as an important partner in the Indo-Pacific region and assured complete support for Malaysia's ASEAN presidency in 2025. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India and Malaysia should increase cooperation in the sectors of semiconductors, fintech, defense industries, AI and quantum technology. The Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar bin Ibrahim said that both the countries will increase their cooperation in several fields, including digital investments and trade. Malaysian Prime Minister also said that this is a very important and personal visit on behalf of the Malaysian government because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is like a brother to him. Earlier, the Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim was accorded a ceremonial welcome at India's presidential palace at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. One of the key announcements of India-Malaysia meet today was the plan to link India's unified payments interface with Malaysia's PayNet, a move that could revolutionize digital payments between the two countries. Speaking on the ongoing visit of Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to India, Secretary of Ministry of External Affairs Jaideep Mazumdar emphasized the importance of Malaysian Prime Minister's visit as the two nations will complete a decade of strategic relations next year. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar called on Malaysian Prime Minister during his state visit to India. The visiting Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim called on India's President Draupadi Murmu at India's presidential palace, the Rashtrapati Bhavan. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh received his Japanese counterpart Minoru Kihara in the national capital. Japanese Defence Minister Minoru Kihara was accorded a ceremonial guard of honor. India's Defence Ministry said that the meeting will further deepen defence cooperation. Japanese Minister of Defence Minoru laid a wreath at National War Memorial in New Delhi. He is here to take part in the 3rd India-Japan 2+2 ministerial dialogue. The 3rd 2+2 ministerial dialogue was held between India and Japan in New Delhi today. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Japanese Minister of Defence Kihara Minoru and Minister of Foreign Affairs Yoko Kamikawa attended the meeting. Earlier on Tuesday, India's President Draupadi Murmu on Tuesday presented the National Geoscience Awards 2023 in Delhi. President Murmu gave the awards in the presence of India's Minister for Coal and Mines and Minister of State for Coal and Mines. Addressing the National Geoscience Awards event, India's President said that National Geoscience Award is one of the oldest and most prestigious national award in the field of geosciences. 19th edition of the India-Africa Business Conclave is set to take place next month, aiming at serving as a catalyst for Africa's growth and highlighting the crucial role of India-Africa partnership in regional and global value chain integration. The 3-day 19th India-Africa Business Conclave, titled Creating One Future, will be held from 20th of August till 22nd of it in New Delhi. The conclave for the first time reflects on the AAA approach of India business towards Africa, which is affordable, adaptable and appropriate. As India and Africa continue to strengthen ties, the 19th India-Africa Business Conclave serves as a crucial platform for fostering sustainable partnerships that contribute to the regional and global value chain integration. In response to the escalating global Mpox outbreak, the Indian government has increased security measures at airports, ports and borders, with Bangladesh and Pakistan instructing authorities to closely screen international travellers for symptoms of the virus. All India Institute of Medical Sciences of Delhi has issued protocol for handling patients with suspected Mpox. In business, Indian stocks trade upbeat, tracking global peers. Sensex closed about 400 points higher as BSE Sensex finished the day's trading at 80,713.64. NSE Nifty 50 closed 100.8 points or 0.41% higher at 24,673.45. Indian rupee stayed firm for the second straight session and settled 8 paise higher at 83.79 against the US dollar. Oil prices continued to fall in early European trading, approaching the August 5 low near the $75 mark. Brent crude experienced a drop of approximately 2.5%, fueled by rumors that a West Asia deal might be imminent. US stock futures rose with S&P 500 futures last up 0.1%, while Nasdaq futures advanced 0.3%. Japan's Nikkei 225 on Tuesday hit its strongest level in over 2 weeks, closing up 1.8%. Chinese blue chips fell 0.7% on continued worries over the country's gloomy economic outlook. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index edged down 0.5%. European shares hit a 2.5-week high on Tuesday, tracking a Wall Street rally driven by expectations that the Federal Reserve could offer further hints of imminent rate cuts later this week. Europe stock 600 and US futures were little changed, while Treasury 10-year yields were steady. The European Commission cut on Tuesday its proposed tariff on imports of Tesla cars built in China and said some Chinese firms in joint ventures with European Union automakers may receive lower planned punitive duties on Chinese-made electric vehicles. Top US diplomat Antony Blinken visited Egypt on Tuesday to discuss a potential ceasefire in Gaza, following Israel's acceptance of a US proposal for a deal. Antony Blinken held talks with Egypt's President al-Sisi to broker a ceasefire deal in the Gaza conflict. Egypt's President Sisi warned that further escalation could lead to regional expansion with unimaginable consequences. Israel's Prime Minister's office on Tuesday confirmed that the bodies of 6 hostages from Gaza's Khan Yunis have been retrieved as negotiations continue to bring back more than 100 who remain in the besieged enclave. Tensions between Israel and Hezbollah continue to simmer. Israel released footage of its military targeting Hezbollah's military infrastructure across Lebanon, including a recent strike on an arms depot in Bekaa Valley. In an overnight retaliatory attack by Russia, 9 regions in the center, north and south of Ukraine were targeted. Ukrainian forces on Tuesday shot down 3 missiles and 25 drones. Divers scoured the wreck of a luxury yacht off Sicily's coast on Tuesday to find 6 missing people, including British tech entrepreneur Mike Lynch and a Morgan Stanley executive. US President Joe Biden on Monday delivered his farewell speech at the opening night of 2024 Democratic National Convention. In his hour-long speech, he attacked the Republican candidate Donald Trump for inciting violence. Making a surprise appearance at the convention, Vice President Kamala Harris said that November election will allow people to come together and move forward with optimism, hope and faith. Democrats have opened the door for social media influencers to cover their political convention in Chicago ahead of the US presidential election, a first for the party as it seeks to connect with voters beyond the reach of traditional media. The DNC committee said influencers would cover the 4-day event in new ways as the party formally nominated Harris to face Trump. Meanwhile, Trump campaign advisors have said that he plans to target young men on TikTok with messages on inflation and other economic issues. Over 200 South Korean and US fighter jets are due to fly around the clock for 5 days this week, marking the largest number of sorties flown in training by the allies. South Korea's Air Force said on Tuesday that the drills are part of the annual Ulchi Freedom Shield exercises designed to boost the joint readiness of the South Korean and US militaries against threats from North Korea. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz warned against nationalism in the country's east as the groundbreaking ceremony for a semiconductor plant in Dresden on Tuesday. The German domestic chip industry is based in the eastern state of Saxony, where rising support for populist parties, including the far-right AfD, has rattled mainstream parties and executives ahead of local elections set for the 1st of September. Scholz described semiconductors as crucial to the country's industrial survival and climate targets and stressed the importance of boosting production in Germany to reduce European dependence on others within global supply chains. Time to take a quick short break. We'll be right back.
The World Wildlife Organization tells us that over 3 billion people across the globe rely on seafood. There are efforts being made to preserve our marine ecosystem. So let's dive right in.
The course of the river was getting shrinked in the upstream areas. And when there is no freshwater flow, the river Ichamoti only survives in the downstream areas, and it has become, in our terminology, we call it a tidal inlet.
Habitat from so many places in the world, and people didn't even know that it had happened.
Mussels that live at the bottom of the lake have this large effect on the biology of the entire lake.
This is the poster that we provide to people on our fish walks. So they can just look at this and identify which are the fish in season, and when we give them the test to go out and identify sustainable fish.
It's worrying because rising temperatures cause the water to expand and with it, the sea level to rise.
Welcome back after that short break. Let's continue. Heavy rain slashed many parts of India's national capital, New Delhi, on Tuesday, leading to waterlogging and traffic snarls in several areas of the city. The IMD has issued an orange alert for intense rainfall in multiple states, including Uttarakhand, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Lakshadweep, Puducherry and Kerala. The IMD has also forecasted heavy rainfall over the northwest, west, east and central parts of the country over the next 3 days. A charity has warned that thousands of children in northern Vietnam will struggle to return to school after flash floods and landslides cut off several communities in the region. Nearly 29,000 houses have been damaged and 90,000 hectares of crops destroyed by flash floods in Vietnam's northwest since early July. 2 people were killed after they were swept away during an unprecedented flooding in the US state of Connecticut. At least 50 people were confirmed dead on Monday following search and rescue efforts after torrential rain slashed central China since July. The United Nations said on Monday that flooding caused by torrential rainfall in Yemen has led to at least 60 deaths since July. 13 are still missing and a total of 268,000 people have been affected. A wildfire sweeping parts of Portugal's island of Madeira continued to rage for the 5th day. Strong winds are complicating efforts to tackle the blaze. The Madeira wildfire has burned through more than 3,000 hectares of forest since Wednesday. Dozens of flights have been cancelled. A university in Peru has successfully cloned the Peruvian Paso horse for the first time. The research team used semantic cell nuclear transfer technology in the process. Peruvian researchers carried out the cloning by using a sample of an epithelial tissue that belonged to the breeder. The cloned embryos were implanted in mares. A rocket engine exploded in flames during a test at the Saxaward spaceport in Scotland on Monday. The spaceport had become UK's first licensed vertical rocket launch site last year. The Saxaward spaceport had been evacuated prior to the test and no one was injured. Officials are trying to gather information to resolve the issue. A rare blue supermoon lit up skies across the world on Monday night. Stargazers witnessed the extraordinary spectacle combining 2 lunar phenomena, a supermoon and a blue moon. US tech giant Apple has rolled out an updated version of its iOS 17.6.1 a little over a week after the initial release. The new version of the iOS fixes a notable issue with the advanced data protection feature, in which users who tried to turn this feature on or off encountered error messages. Senegalese farmers are turning to social media to boost sales of their produce. The agri-influencers are gaining more customers as a result. 90-year-old British primatologist and conservationist Jane Goodall is travelling the globe urging commitment through actions such as reducing unsustainable lifestyles to fight climate change. In Argentina, Goodall participated in the reinsertion of different kinds of birds back into the wild. The annual pilgrimage of Mahadhyaneshwar Yatra, also known as Chota Amarnath Yatra, has begun in India's Jammu and Kashmir in its Bandipora district. The traditional festival of Gai Jatra, or the cow festival, is being observed in several parts of Nepal's Kathmandu valley. As part of tradition, during the 8-day festival, people of all ages wear costumes to commemorate those who died during the past year. The ancient desert city of Dunhuang in northwest China is drawing record visitors with its modern technologies integrated in its nightly concerts. Sri Lanka celebrated its annual Festival of the Tooth with great pomp. The festival honors the sacred tooth relic of the Buddha, housed in the Sri Dalada Maligawa temple in Kandy. Around 400 animals at London Zoo hopped onto the scales on Monday at the zoo's annual weigh-in as zookeepers recorded the critters' vital statistics. Colombia celebrated its annual Wind and Kite Festival in the historic town of Philadelphia. This year's guest of honor was China, the country that gave rise to the ancient art of kite making. The Wind and Kite Festival was first launched in the year 1975. It is Colombia's largest and most famous kite festival, attracting a myriad of participants every year. A record of 750 couples from 53 countries are participating at this year's World Tango Championship during the Tango BA Festival in Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires. World's oldest person, Spain's Maria Brañas Morera, has died at the age of 117. Brañas was recognized as the world's oldest person by Guinness World Records in January 2023. Indian actress Priyanka Chopra's first Marathi production feature film called Pani is set to hit the theatres on the 18th of October this year. The teaser of the film has been released. The teaser of Indian crime thriller called The Buckingham Murders is out. The gripping and intense thriller stars Indian actress Kareena Kapoor as a grieving mother who turns detective. Indian actors Randeep Hooda and Sunny Deol will be seen together in an upcoming action film by Indian filmmaker Gopichan Malinini. A biopic on Indian cricketer Yuvraj Singh has been announced by production house T-Series Film. It will cover his journey from World Cup hero to cancer survivor. American rock band Modest Mouse is celebrating the 20th anniversary of their fourth studio album called Good News for People Who Love Bad News with a US tour. British actress and filmmaker Michelle Coel is teaming with HBO and BBC for upcoming new drama series called First Day on Earth. Popular space drama Star Wars spin-off series called The Acolyte that has been cancelled after one season. American actress Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut Blink Twice premiered in London on Monday. The psychological thriller will hit the cinemas globally from 21st of August. Canadian singer-songwriter Shania Tivan's life story will be added in the tidal wave comic series called Female Force. The second part of the fourth season of American comedy drama series Emily in Paris will stream on Netflix from the 12th of September. In sports, Samoa batter Darius Visser has broken men's T20I record for most runs in an over against Vanuatu in the T20 World Cup East Asia Pacific Region qualifier. Australia captain Pat Cummins expects bigger role for Cameron Green and Mitchell Marsh during the 5-test series against India. Australia batsman Steve Smith rules out retirement after he signed a long-term deal to play in the Big Bash League. England's Dan Lawrence will open the batting in the first test against Sri Lanka and seamer Matthew Pott will replace Ben Stokes. World number 1 Yannick Sinner overcomes health issues to defeat Francis Tiafoe to clinch the Cincinnati Open title. Arena Sabalenka won the Cincinnati Open title by overpowering Jessica Pegula in the final. Argentina's injured captain Lionel Messi was left out of the squad for next month's South American World Cup qualifiers against Chile and Colombia. Germany captain Ilkay Gundogan announces retirement from international football after leading his country at Euro 2024. Veteran striker Jamie Vardy earned Leicester City a 1-1 draw with Tottenham in their Premier League season opener. And Paralympic Village is all set to open its door for the participating athletes. The official opening of the village is scheduled to take place on 21st of August. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now. But news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.